So we have Shaundra at Welljoy, Shaundra Brown, and she is going to be talking and presenting on self-care comes within, and her gift is a 5-day self-care guide. So welcome, Shaundra. So happy and excited to have you with us today.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me see if I can do the screen share
Yeah,
here.
screen share is open.
It's disabled. Let me try it again.
Here, let me make sure. Where maybe Zoom changed its thing. Oh, sorry. It diverted back. There we go.
Thanks.
You got
Okay.
it. I'm going to post her link for her gift in the chat. Yep, we got it.
Thank you. And I also want to put the chat bubble back up here. There we go. Okay, thank you so much. I love to put the tic-tac-toe. I love to see everybody I can on here. So I love energy. I know some folks are at work. Thanks, Pamela, for leading us the past hour because it kind of let me know what the format is. If you can put yourself on camera, that's awesome. If you're at work, I totally understand. But I love to use the chat for us to communicate and create a vibe. Like, Pamela, you said this is a sisterhood. We're not alone. We're here
That's right.
together. And even if you're coming in on the replay, yes, come back and even chat on the replay or come visit us on the web. We're putting our links up. So I'm all about energy. I'm honored to be here today. I am zooming in from sunny Jacksonville, Florida. For the moment, we are expecting rain. So you never know. We could have pop-up showers and the power could go
It's
out.
Florida. It rains
But
sometimes.
I think we'll have a good hour to interact. And as a wellness coach, I work with groups and organizations, and I also love my one-on-one time with clients where I can be really personal about what's happening in your specific journey, right? So just across the different age groups, I work with teens, I work with young adults, I work with busy career women who are managing and juggling family, being in the sandwich generation where we're also caring for older parents. That's been happening for me right now, doing a lot of care for my mom who's getting older. And then the empty nesters when kids are going off to college and we're getting into the retirement side and the menopause side and the different health and wellness challenges that come all along the way. So when I thought about reaching out and kind of connecting with all of us today and really thinking about what is empowering, how can we thrive beyond stress? Because stress comes from all those different places, right? From our loved ones and our careers and our environment and our perpetual to-do list, right? That stress can put us on that wheel to move, 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 move. How can we get off of that stress cycle and into a self-care cycle? And I have a whole really fun workshop that I love to like really just dive into that. But we're all on our personal wellness journey. And I love today's topic or the workshop, the seminar's topic for the 2 days, Pamela. Thank you for giving us a space for empowerment where we can de-stress, where we can undo
Yes.
some
Yeah.
of those things that are pow, 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 hitting us daily as we go through all these life stages. So thank you for just setting the stage, Pamela.
Oh, you're welcome.
And so I thought, what a important empowerment piece than to look at self-care from within, because I can't always manage all the things and that I'm juggling and things that are coming at me. But when I take a breath, return to self, I can look at what I have choice over every day to love on myself, nourish myself, incorporate self-care into my journey. And guess what? Bring people on the journey. I don't have children, but I have an amazing goddaughter who's close to me and nieces and nephews. And they're like, Auntie, tell us about that self-care stuff that you do. Can we do some breathing? I had a rough day at school. Can you help me with tapping? I need to connect and like de-stress. And so we're talking about like things that we can do to manage what's happening all around us. You talked about back to school in one of the promotions. They're so stressed out right now. They're going into college, they're going into a new grade, they're going into new careers, and they're like, oh my gosh, new, and things are changing. I thought I had this class. I thought I had that parking spot. I thought I had this roommate. And they're like, it changed and I am out of whack and I can't be my best when I show up for my academics. So we take a breath and we return to self. Self-care comes from within. And so on the introductory slide, I have kind of 3 different buckets that I'd like for us to explore today on where we have choice of what comes into our self-consciousness, what comes into how we process and manage our day, stress. And I'd like to offer the opposite, joy. So if you're in the chat and I see the chat right now, just type joy in all caps. Joy, 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 joy. For me, it's the opposite of stress. And thank you, joy. It's something that can be a choice, is something that we can look forward to, is something that can be the complete opposite of anything going wrong in your day. So if you like music, think about the music that has joy in the lyrics or in the title. If you like to read, if you like poems, find your joy. How about even like just looking at things that put a smile on your face? If you like the sunrise, the sunset, your cute little nieces and nephews, those babies when they're giggling, that brings me pure joy to see a child happy. Pets, any fur babies out there, any pet parents out there, my dog just has this cute little face and it just brings me joy. So joy, 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 joy. So you'll see my name at welljoy.me. Well Joy, it's the wellness journey and finding joy along the way. And so back to the slide here, the 3 buckets that I'd like for us to do that in the next hour or so is to look at the top row, and that is what we drink and what we eat. We have choices, right? What are we putting into our bodies in terms of what we eat and what we drink? And then in the middle, oh my gosh, what do we see? What do we hear? What are we picking up from things all around us? What comes in through what we see and hear? And then the last one, this is so key, right? What about what we tell ourselves? Has anyone even thought about that self-talk? Sometimes it's so automatic and it's just that random thought. What about if we focus on the positive self-talk and just giving ourselves a hug, right? Just the positive things that we can bring into our subconsciousness to navigate and push back on any of the negative things. Pamela, I'm just picking up what you're putting down. You were talking about growing up with your cousins and just different body images, right? I am also on a lifelong wellness journey as a plus size woman in the wellness industry. I show up a little bit different, right? I don't subscribe to the fact that I need to be a size 2 to be healthy. I know the choices I'm making from what I'm eating, drinking, putting myself around in the environment, moving my body, right? I may not run a marathon, but I walk every day or I swim every day. So really using positive self-talk on my journey and how wellness looks like for me, it could be very different of what wellness looks like for someone else. And we both have wellness and health, right? On different health journeys. And that was a long journey, y'all. I just made 50 years. So it took some time to like undo those messages and that negative self-talk and really get into positive self-talk, right? So maybe put a little note in the chat, or if you're also taking notes through this replay, positive self-talk, what we tell ourselves. So we're going to get into it. But before I go to the next slide, I told you I'm all about energy. I want to see that y'all are with me. In the chat, type out a few words. What does self-care mean to you? So we're going to build a collective definition here. What does self-care mean to you? So I'll put the question in the chat and let's see what comes up. Okay, let's get it going. Share with us in the chat. What does your self-care mean? For some people, it could be sleep. For some people, it could be what you eat. For some people, it could be the people you hang around. For some people, it could be getting your doctor appointments in. What is self-care? Ooh, a bubble bath, a manicure, time with your friends. Yeah, all right. Rest, reset, making smart food choices, Honoring your own needs. I love it. Doing for yourself what you're doing for others. Thank you. I have a phrase of filling your own cup first, right? If I'm empty, I can't give to others. Let's see what else we got here in the chat. Oh my gosh, thank you for that. Your mind, body, soul connection. It's so connected, right? If I'm sad and crying because I'm having a moment, I may choose different things to eat or I may skip the workout. But when I bring it back together, like my purpose, why I'm on my health journey, right? Then I can connect my mind, get more into a positive loop, and move my body and nourish my body. Thank you for that mind body connection. Nature. Mm-mm-mm. I'm so blessed to be out here on the East Coast and be able to get to the sand, the ocean in 20 minutes. Some of my friends are in the middle of the country and they find their favorite park and their tree and they take their shoes off for grounding, right? Walking on the grass, touching nature, connecting to nature, getting grounded. There's science that really talks about how the electrons in the earth touch our bodies and our cells and really ground us and help us. Okay, so thank you. Thank you for kind of sharing overall health, social, the social component, the spiritual meditation. So important. Y'all are on it. Thank you for giving me the energy and building this collective definition of self-care. Because here's what the internet said. Very to the point. It's a noun. Self-care is a noun. It's a practice, not perfection, but a practice of taking into action to preserve my own health. So it's a practice. We don't have to be perfect. I can be new to meditation and my mind wanders. Oops, got to bring it back, right? I could be new to swimming and I'm still getting my breath coordinated in and out of the water, right? Turning my head. It's practice. I'm practicing and getting better at what I'm doing for self-care. Let's see, we got some more info in the chat. I love it. I love to see that y'all are with me. Yes, that positivity and being grateful. Ooh, gratitude. Thank you for sharing that. Gratitude is another really good component of our practice and our self-care. Okay, so feel free to keep hollering out in the chat as we go through the info, because this is your session. This is not just our thoughts. This is your thoughts as well, collective. Love it. Okay, so I said we were going to get into those three topics. And the first one is what we eat and drink. And I know over the past day, you had some really great sessions that really incorporated supplements, nutrition, recipes, this whole idea of like how food is love, how food helps our bodies. Pamela, wasn't it Hippocrates? I don't know if I'm saying that
Yeah.
right. He said, let food be thy own medicine.
Yep.
Wouldn't you love to go to your doctor's office and get a prescription for some fruits and vegetables, lean meats, clean proteins, maybe organic foods, maybe non-pesticides? Wouldn't it be cool to like get a prescription for that?
That'd be
Right.
great, but they're not trained in it, unfortunately.
All the doctors I talk to, they're saying, I don't have time, Shaundra. I've got 20 minutes before
Yep.
my next client. I need your basics, right? I need your metrics, your numbers, your labs, your height and weight, your blood pressure. And here's where we go from here. But what I'm offering, back to the empowerment theme of how to de-stress our bodies, when we're stressed, we have inflammation. And so I remember thinking about that. My doctor's like, you have this because you're inflamed. And I'm like, what does that mean? Right? And so kind of bringing some practical terms to this concept of inflammation, it just means your body's fighting off an infection. Your body's fighting something off. So when we have a cut, and it gets puffy and red, right? And your skin looks different. That you can see it's inflammation, right? We can't see inside our bodies if we have inflammation, but it shows up in our numbers that our doctors have, right? It shows up in our blood pressure. It shows up in our blood sugars. It shows up in our waistline. It shows up in so many different ways that our doctors are trained to give us prescriptions for to treat the symptoms. And what I'd like to offer, a really innovative concept here, if you will, is what if we go back to the root cause? And that's what we're eating and drinking, putting into our body that can cause inflammation. I'm going to raise my hand right now. And I'm even going to show, maybe I shouldn't. Okay, the word's not on it, but you guys know the logo. Caffeine. I told myself, okay, I want to have some energy. I want to give a good talk today. I'm going to have some caffeine. And I know that I don't have sugar in my coffee, but I know that could be a source of inflammation. So to balance that coffee cup, Pamela, and everybody else, I can't see names. I see like some ceilings and some green screens. I'm going to drink 60 ounces of water to balance out that 30 ounces of coffee. So I'm going to double the water intake to kind of flush that out and not let my body stay inflamed if it has any response to the caffeine, right? So what we eat and what we drink really can be an empowering choice that we make for ourselves, for our self-care, for our health, and thereby our wellness. Our moods will change, we'll feel good, and we're doing something nourishing for our body. So hydration, just kind of want to survey the group if you have time to chat. How many ounces of water do you drink? Okay, somebody's doing the coffee water combo. Yeah, thanks, Rosie. About how many cups? So a cup is usually about 8 ounces. So how many cups, or if you want to convert it to ounces, if you're using 8 ounces per cup, how many ounces are people having today? Another way to do the ounces is like a little standard water bottle. That's about 17 ounces. How many ounces are folks drinking each day? Kind of give us a ballpark here. I'd like to kind of see. And while you're kind of calculating and sharing how much hydration you get, you can also include if you're eating foods like watermelon, cucumbers, salad, oranges, any juicy fruits, right? We can even add that to kind of give yourself a bump on your ounces. Okay. Yeah, that body weight. I've calculated that. And again, as a plus size wellness coach, I'd be drinking and eating watermelon all day. So yes, I talked to my doctor about that, and they said in moderation, they said, Shaundra, if you do more than 100 ounces, really watch, make sure that you are moving and sweating and moving that water through your system. Okay, great. Margot said 60 to 80. That is the standard. You can go higher depending on your weight, but I would say if you also live an active lifestyle to move that water through your system. But 60 to 80 ounces is I think it's 60 to 90 is a really, really, really great goal. And we're in the summertime now. We're at the tail end of the summer, but it's still warm in most regions. 60 to 90 ounces is a great goal. So if you're taking notes, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Try to get that 60 to 90 ounces in each day of pure water. I will say you can do decaf uncaffeinated tea. So herbal teas count, but soda doesn't count. Fruit juice doesn't count because there's more sugars once you process it, right? The orange will count, the watermelon will count, but by the time we get it into a bottle and preserve it, we're losing so many of the nutrients, right? So 60 to 90 ounces of really good hydration. That's something that we can control of what we're putting in. Okay, let's talk about eating for a little bit. There are so many diets there, so many ways to lose weight, right? And I will also say to lose stress. I'm a big fan of meal prep. So to keep it exciting, I change my diet. So I don't just stay vegan or plant-based or keto or dairy-free. I mix it up, right? Because I like to explore different recipes from different cultures. And so sometimes we might need dairy or different things to make those recipes happen, but I like to switch it up. So I will say this week, probably this month, I'm plant-based. I am loving these salads. And that second point, eat the rainbow, is so much fun when you cut things up and put it in a bowl and you like spread it out for this beautiful presentation. Quick meal prep. There's a woman making a smoothie. Oh my gosh, who knew? Did anybody know that putting avocado in a smoothie
Hmm.
makes it creamer and richer?
Yeah, even frozen cauliflower.
Frozen cauliflower?
Yep. Hmm.
What? That is
And you don't taste the
awesome.
cauliflower.
And you get that cruciferous vegetable, right? That's a cancer fighting nutrient that we need. And so eating the rainbows, Pamela, thanks for talking about the cauliflower. Eating the rainbow for me, and for me suggesting this as a wellness coach, is to really help you pick different types of colors of foods to get different vitamins. Greens, your vitamin K, right? That's a good supplement for calcium. Your oranges and your reds, well, reds, getting those cancer fighting properties. The oranges, getting that vitamin C for your immune system. The cauliflower, the broccoli, the Brussels sprouts, those cruciferous vegetables, and onions too for cancer fighting properties. And guess what? They all decrease our inflammation. So they're making our body healthy from the inside out. So phytonutrients. Phytonutrients are all the great, amazing things that Mother Nature has for us when we eat the rainbow and we check out different fruits and vegetables. Um, Anybody have something like a farm box or farmers markets? Definitely. I like to touch and smell my fruits and vegetables. And then also the farm box deliveries. They give really great coupons when you get started, right? If you have that in your area. And I got introduced to turnips, y'all. I didn't know what turnips were. I didn't grow up eating turnips. And I'm like, these are amazing when you just clean them and cut them and roast them with some salt and
Yes.
pepper, and they get all caramely, right, Pamela? They get this
Hmm.
nice gooey coating, and you didn't even have to put sauce on it. I'm like, look at these. So it was a little bit fancier for me than a carrot. I do like the carrot, but I was like, oh, look at the turnips and then the parsnips and then the different color kind of root vegetable carrot family. So that was really fun. So yeah, eating the rainbow is super duper fun for me right now. I love making really pretty salads and then putting different colors of different vegetables and fruits on there. And then how about salad dressings? I'm keeping that natural this week. I'm making my own salad dressings with EEVO extra virgin, EVVO extra virgin olive oil, EEVO, there you go. And fruit juice. So I'll squeeze a lemon, squeeze an orange, sprinkle 2 tablespoons of oil, and then do some really fun seasonings. So I've gone beyond salt and pepper. I've sprinkled some turmeric on my salad. I've sprinkled some Mrs. Dash, some salt-free type of stuff. So it's just been fun eating the rainbow and exploring the summertime fruits and vegetables, right? So yeah, love that, eating the rainbow. We get to choose what we eat and what we drink. And I'm all about moderation, y'all. I'm not going to say don't celebrate a milestone, a birthday, an anniversary, a graduation. We can have those celebratory times, right? And for me, I do that in moderation because I love sweets, right? But I just know it inflames me. I can't have sugar every day. I can't have a dessert every day because of inflammation, right? That can lead to diabetes. So I do celebrate. My birthday is coming up. I will celebrate. And then I'll get back onto one of these really great weeks where I'm choosing like some type of healthy eating plan for the rest of the week. So do keep your celebrations. That's part of the mental connection too, right? So we don't get bored, but do challenge yourself with new types of things to incorporate into your diet from a health perspective. And the last one, this is for those of us that are busy and just going, running. If you have children, if you have a long commute to work, if you're a caregiver for a loved one, this takes some planning. The last one I have about what we eat and drink is reducing packaged foods, trying to eat real foods, trying to eat foods in their whole form instead of getting it out of a box and throwing it in the microwave. Ooh, wee. That comes back to my meal prep. Love Sundays to make a pot of something. Crock pot is amazing for this. Baking something that I can cut into different portions for the rest of the week is so, so good for our health, y'all. Incorporating our real foods and less packaged foods, less fast foods, right? You figure, what do they say? Going around the perimeter of the grocery store is going to get you what you need. Going on the inside aisles is going to get you what can stay in the pantry for a long time. And that may be needed during storms, during hurricane prep, once we get into the snowy season, right? There are times where we have to go to our pantry. I've heard from my grandparents, they used to pickle vegetables and can vegetables. I don't have that skill. I don't. So I will get canned beans, right? And frozen vegetables. I will. And that's a little bit better than going to the fast food, right? So you can supplement your pantry that way, but try to keep it as whole and unprocessed as possible. Again, really reducing your inflammation, being good, taking care of yourself from the inside out to really reduce complications with high blood pressure, diabetes, heart, stroke, all of that coming up in the future, really taking care of our insides with these whole foods. So I'm going to pause here. Anything in the chat, any questions anybody have, or anything anybody wants to share about what we eat and drink for our self-care, for our wellness, for our health? Okay, you can circle back and you're welcome to always put it in the chat. Let's go. I'm looking at my time. I'm doing pretty good here. Let's go to number 2 out of 3. And that's me in a very Zen moment. Was it Jody that was in my group? Let me see if I can scroll and see her name.
I
Yeah,
was there, Shaundra.
yes, Jody. So you were talking about fasting. I had the most beautiful experience at a yoga retreat in Boca Raton, Florida, where we didn't fast off of everything, but we just did juicing, whole juicing for a week, plus yoga and meditation, plus walking to the beach, plus drinking a whole bunch of water. I think we had to drink 120 ounces of water a day. It was crazy good. Um, I felt so clear. So that was just me at the end at the yoga retreat at the end. And I just was thanking myself for the self-care and the commitment that week. And so part of it was a fast. So you can have a fast of just water. You can have a juice fast. Some people have a social media detox or a fast from like all of the electronic messages coming at you and your phones and your
Yeah,
digital and everything.
which I
That's
talked about earlier. Yeah.
Yes, Pamela, we got to get off of that hamster wheel that makes us stressed. So there's lots of ways to detox and have a fast. So I thought about this concept of being Zen and just that time in my life where I just zoned everything out for a week. It really allowed me to go within about what I was seeing and hearing to drive my thoughts, to drive my actions. I was not stressed that week. I felt so calm because it was a pause from all the things. Now, in the modern world, I might get 10 minutes of that detox and de-stress. I might get an afternoon where I put my cell phone on the shelf because I'm like, okay, everybody's here. I don't have to have the phone for an emergency. Okay, good. I'm not going to touch the phone and get on social media for the rest of the day. So we can choose, right, how we access the world because it's feeding our emotions and our body and creating chemical reactions that we don't know about. So have you heard, just a thumbs up or on your screen or in the chat, have you heard of fight or flight? Thumbs up if you've heard of fight or flight. So in the beginning, in the front of the brain, we have the amygdala, right? That really drives the cortisol or the stress hormone. And that's what we're being empowered to do, is to not get stressed, right? To de-stress, to take off that cortisol. And so if I'm fighting, go, 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 I look at my phone, ding, look at my phone, ding, look at my phone, ding. I'm guilty of that. How many of us are just responding, ding, 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 ding? That is the modern day fight or stress. And it comes back to that cortisol hormone that will surge through our body and cause inflammation. And so if we are empowering ourselves to incorporate more self-care and be well, we have to find spaces where we take a break from that hamster wheel, those email dings, those phone dings, social media. And I am an Instagram girl. Okay. I will get on one cute little video and then it will go to another and another and another and another. And we got that scrolling thing, right? And I'm like, Pamela, I think you talked about this. Don't we have to give our eyes a break from the screen?
Yes, yes.
Because your eyes get dry. So my eye doctor said, you don't blink within an hour. You don't blink as many times as you should to lubricate your eyes when you're glued on your blue screen. That causes stress to your brain.
And looking
Feel
away,
like
we need to look away so our eyes can accommodate. It's the something, yeah.
yeah, and
That
give
makes
your
sense.
eyes time to blink. So look away and blink. You have to lubricate your eyes too, because the eye doctor said, you know, this concept of dry eye, and now I'm wearing bifocals. I'm like, why am I wearing bifocals, because not only am I on my computer at day, but I'm looking at my phone throughout the day. So the far vision and the close-up vision are both compromised because we have to give ourselves those breaks. Yes. And then let's think about the stress component, coming back to cortisol and feeling like I'm always on. I got to buy this. I got to do this. I want my children to have this. I want my home to look like this. It's the I gottas, right? I think social media could create an unhealthy competition. There's research about the mental impact of social media on young people who don't necessarily have that filter of what's real and what's make believe. As adults, I think we have discernment and we're like, they just bought 10 houses. That's just for social media. They just want to look good. They didn't really do that. But for young people, they could be taking things on social media as true. And when we're coming to thinking about weight loss, weight management, our idea of our ideal selves in terms of health, wow, body dysmorphia is a huge, huge, huge problem when we get to social media and the shoulds and the beautiful images and the perception of what you should look like to be successful, to be pretty, to be this, to be that. And so as adults, I think we can kind of filter that out sometimes. But my younger nieces and nephews, something we really talk about, like, this doesn't have to be real. It doesn't have to be your experience, right? Because I just always want to check in with them that they're not setting themselves up for that competition to be that girl, to be that guy that appears to have everything so amazing. So part of our self-care coming from within is choosing those messages that we see. There's great stuff on social media. There's great community on social media. And there's also a lot of junk that we have to filter through. Same with the news cycle. Sometimes it's just too much, y'all. It's just
Negative.
too
So
much.
negative.
I don't want another negative commercial about this. It's like hurting my feelings, even though I'm not in that arena. I'm like, just to see the mudslinging and the name calling and the competition, I need a break for it, right? Thank goodness for streaming TV where I can flush out some of the commercials and get past some of this stuff, y'all. So even the news, I don't know if it's sensationalized for us to tune in, but don't you feel like it's always somebody who was hurt, harmed, and I'm using light words, right? It's a lot more dire than that. It's always the really crazy negative stuff that hits the news in the bulk. And at the end, when they have a feel-good story, I'm like, thanks, this guy volunteered in his neighborhood and da-da-da-da, thanks. We could have had that story first before the other drama stuff. So the news can really, really pull down on our mental filter and again, cause that stress. Stress causes cortisol. Cortisol causes inflammation. That impacts our weight. That impacts our health. So to care for ourselves, we can have choice in reducing what we see on social media and news. And then the last one is my favorite, people around us, right? I think there's a phrase, you can't choose your family, your bio family, but you get to choose your chosen family. I probably really messed that up. But this whole concept of it takes a village and family is who you choose, your best friends, the people around you, those that really nurture you. Somebody said their mind, body, and soul. Who are the friends that lift you up and say, hey, Shaundra, are you having a good day? I just wanted to say hi. Not, I need this. Can you do this? Can you call me? Can you help me? Where do you get uplifted, right? So choosing the people and support system that really lift you. So really,
Shaundra, you're at time, just to let you know.
okay. So I will just leave this. I forgot it was 30 minutes. To telling yourself, monitor your self-talk, give yourself lots of positive self-love and affirmation. Try that mind, body, soul connection. And you can connect with me at welljoy.me. And the link is in the chat. Welljoy.me/about is where you get your free gift. 5 days of self-care. I would love to connect with you further. Reach out to me on social medias, welljoy.me, or on the website. Would love to connect with y'all. Thanks for having me, Pamela.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shaundra.